mag-install ng Active Directory, first, pupunta ka sa select role from the left part and then click add roles. Sa select server role, kailangan mo munang i-select yung Active Directory. Pagkatapos mo na i-select, then next. After that, add role wizard, add feature required to Active Directory domain services. You cannot install Active Directory domain services unless the required features are also installed. If you see the following field, click and add required features. Sa confirm installation selection, to install the following rules, role servers or feature, click install. This server might need be restart after the installation complete. So click next, next again, and then click install buttons. Installation result, the following rules and features were created successfully. So wait for the installation to finish and click the close buttons. After that, sa my Active Directory domain service, store directory data and manage communication between users and domain, including user log-on, processors, authentication, and directory services. Reboot the server. So welcome to the Active Directory Domain Service Installation Wizard. This wizard helps you to install Active Directory Domain Services ADDS on the server, making the server an Active Directory Domain controller. To continue, click Next. Once the installation wizard starts, click Next. So, operating system compatibility, improve security setting in Windows Server 2008 and Windows Server 2008 R2 after older version of Windows. After that, click on Next again. So, choose a development configuration. You can create a domain controller for an existing forest or for a new forest. When installing a new domain controller, select Create New Domain in a New Forest and click Next. Sa name and forest root domain, the first domain in the forest is the forest root domain. Its name is also the name of the forest. For example, .com. Type in fully qualified domain name and click Next. After that, set forest functional level. So, Windows Server, then Next. Additional domain controller order, select additional option for the domain control DNS server. Click Next again, a pop-up message to create manually a delegation to the DNS server. Click Next. Location of database log files and sysball, specify the folder that will contain an Active Directory domain controller database log files and sysball. They choose the database log files and sysball folder. After that, pindutin yung Next. Directory server store made administrator password. So, you need to choose a strong password, confirm, and Next is the wizard's confirmation above directory domain services. This process can take from a few minutes to several hours depending on your environment and the option that's selected. Click Next, then Next is again. So, completing the Active Directory Domain Service Windsor Active Domain Services is now installed on this computer for the domain example.com. So, wait for the installation to complete and click the Finish buttons. So, sa DHCP installation naman, first, DCP servers, introduction DCP servers, the dynamic host configuration protocols allows the servers to assign or leave IP address to computer and other devices that are enabled to DHCP series. Deploying the DHCP server on the network provides the computer. So, to get started, fire on the server manager. After that, right-click on the role and then select Add Role. So, kapag natapos mo na yon, kailangan mo munang you will be promoted with the normal before you begin screen, and after clicking the next, you will be able to choose the HTTP server, select network. After selecting network, next you want to select the network connection to bind the DHCP protocol to specify IPv4. So I specify IPv4 server setting, which put an IP address of your DNS server, which in the case is the same machine, but careful not to put the loopback address 127.001, as this will be the address your client will go for name resolution and add edit. After add and or edit DCH scope, you need to click next again to skip the Windows setup. This will bring you to the creating a DHCP scope where you can click the add buttons. So add the scope is a range of possible IP address for a network. This HTTP server can net distribute IP address to them until a scope is created. So now you need to give your scope name, interface address that you want available to the client to use. Enter the subnet mask, usually 255.255.255.0. Enter the IP address of your default gateway, or usually your router IP address. So in confirm installation selection, once you have to click on OK, you can click next 4 times to get the confirmation screen where you can finally click install. So once the installation is complete, your DHCP will be functioning and you can start managing your DCP server right away. In creating OU and user account, log on the domain controller, open Active Directory user and computer, snap in, expand domain name, select the organization unit where you want to create the new user account. In empty area, right click, select new and click user. You can also right click the OU and click new and select user to create new user account. So kailangan mo munang mag-fill up ng username, last name, full name. You can see above there are 2 user logon names. First user logon names, also called user principal name, is the diwalda@masbigek.com, which is the email-like name that can be used to log in to domain join computer. Second is a free Windows 2000, also called SAM account name, can also be used by the user to log in the domain join computer, and the forms must be click Diwalda. After entering the user details, click next. So in new object user, you need to create masbigek.com user. So create password for a user, can choose various options as shown above. When you are done, click next. So in create masbigek.com user, when you click finish, the following object will be created. You can view the details of the user, click finish to create new user account. So sa Active Directory user and computer, you can now see the user list in the Active Directory as shown above. In joining client PC on the domain, you need to click start, right click computer, click properties, click changes setting, change setting, then click domain name, type installer local, computer name, domain changes, login to username, type administration, password, type ... So you need to click OK. Click OK to apply to changes. Restart now. Then after that, nagla-logging on, shutting down. Then makikita mo yung user IP is quoted, as you can see the changes before the click. Switch user, then click other user, then doon mo nilalagay yung password and email na nilagay mo. Login with the user and password. So mag-welcome na siya. Click the computer and user account. So, hahanapin mo yung ginawa mo, punta ka sa may computer, properties, then yung list, magpapakita na doon sa my screen. So, sa my installing file servers, you need to go to the server manager in the left column, select role, and in the main window area, click on add role. Then, pagkatapos nyan, in the add role wizard under server role, put a checkbox under file servers. Then now, under file server role service, select the services that you want to install under file services. You need to check the file server, distributed file system, file server, resources manager. So, configuring storage usage monitoring. Under DFH namespace, select create a namespace later using DFS manager snap and click next. So, to restart the following role server the features that click install, click next under storage monitoring next. Then, in the confirmation window, click install and close. In configuring DNS reverse lookup zone, best match DNS desktop app, open the DNS manager console, create new reverse lookup zone in DNS console, right click on the reverse lookup zones and select new zone. So, the DNS server support various types of zone and storage. You need to choose zone type, new zone wizard on the zone type page, select primary storage. Then Active Directory zones version, you can select how you want to DNS data replicated throughout your network. Choose to replicate to all DNS servers running on domain controller in this domain. Then next, choose IPv4 or IPv6 for this demo in setting up. So, reverse looking up a zone name, translate IP address into DNH name. Now, types in the start of the subnet range of your network. Dynamic update, you can specify this DNS zone accept secure, non-secure, or no dynamic updates. Use dynamic update option recommended. Picking the first option allow only secure dynamic update. Completing the new zone wizard, you have to successfully complete the new zone wizard. You specify the following setting, the name, the types, and lookup. Then, to complete the wizard, you need to click finish. Then, DNH manager, makikita mo na yung list ng reverse lookup zone. And thank you for watching.